Shanaka Clay versus James Baldwin. Racing Point versus YAS Heat in this finale here in Abu Dhabi. James Baldwin leads us off.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how Baldwin gets on in his debut here in the V10 R-League. A great start from him. Shanaka Clay with a bit of work to do already. Half a second down as we head into the first chicane.
And here we go into the first chicane. Clay trailing 0.6 over James Baldwin. This guy just about wins everything he takes part in. So let's see if he can get the early scalps for YAS Heat.
Well, we clearly have a James Baldwin fan in the commentary box.
I'm not a fan, actually, of James Baldwin. I'm actually technically his boss.
Wow.
And, yeah.
Wow, that is a huge statement. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a boss. We have a boss.
I'm a boss.
In the commentary box.
And I just want to point out as well, I beat James Baldwin in an online race with Lando Norris, so I beat both of them at Silverstone.
Wow.
So technically, I am the world's fastest gamer. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be an early win for YAS Heat, barring any kind of calamity for James Baldwin. Very aggressive there for Clay over the curbs at the penultimate two corners, and over the line goes James Baldwin, wins on debut. This is the ex-racing driver showdown. Michael Epps versus Jarno Opmeer, who is starting from pole position for YAS Heat. We are underway for the second race, and it looks like a great start for Jarno.
Yeah, so Michael Epps got his work cut out on this one with Jarno Opmeer leading from the front in his debut, but I've got a lot of experience, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Already half a second back as they head into the first chicane. Jarno Opmeer not going to make any mistakes, I believe, and then into the hairpin for the first time, looking very, very strong already.
For both drivers, but Jarno looking very comfortable on his first race.
Yeah, very, very strong. It just shows the amount of experience that he has straight out of the box. He looks like he's been driving these cars like the whole season, but yeah, that's exactly what YAS Heat would have wanted, you know, for a driver like Jarno to come in and deliver, with his teammate James Baldwin already doing that in his head-to-head.
It's very tricky to negotiate all of that. So many quick corners in succession, but Jarno is going to take that in his stride out of the final corner. And again, the debutant taking the victory. YAS Heat get early scalps here, their first championship point going their way over Racing Points. With the head-to-heads wrapped up for YAS Heat, this one is for pride between Andrea Capoccia, who returns for YAS Heat, and Rafael Labato.
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with these guys who have got a lot of experience in these cars, been in the car all year. A couple of drivers, or both these drivers, missing a few events. So Capoccia, we know, is a very strong driver when it comes to his head-to-heads and his team races. So Labato got his work cut out for a Racing Point, but only half a second in it.
But yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how Season 2 expands. Hopefully more teams, more tracks.
I've already put my request in for another co-commentator. I don't think I want you anymore, Ben.
Okay, bye then. I'll try and compete as a driver then and get my butt whooped by everybody. And it's Capoccia rounding the final corner for YAS Heat, and it looks like it is going to be a clean sweep for YAS Heat at their home race. Let's see if Racing Point can fight back in this relay race, with Jarno Opmeer starting us off from pole position. It looks like a good start for the home team.
Yeah, great start from Opmeer, and Clay has got his work cut out already, because there's not really an opportunity for him to fight into turn one. Turn two follows very quickly, and it's very high speed. The first time we get to hit the brakes is here, with the first chicane left and right, and then the hairpin, which seems to go on forever. You don't always have to hook up your apex there, but Opmeer is always clinical there.
I don't know about you, Nick, but I tend to brake for turn one. What car are you driving?
I forgot about that one.
Turn one, flat out. Wow, you're an amazing driver if you can go through that.
You know what I mean.
I don't know what you mean.
All right, like a heavy braking zone.
You brake here, in between the straights. But we're into the pit lane for our first round of pit stops. Just going back to the point of Jarno Opmeer's pace around here at Abu Dhabi. 1 minute 35.285. For reference, Nick, that is 4 seconds faster than the previous lap record held by a Mr. Lewis Hamilton.
Wow.
Around here. Scintillating pace.
Wow, wow, wow. I mean, that is fantastic. It shows what we do here at the V10R League. It'll be interesting to see what happens on the exit. It looks like Racing Point are closer than they were when they entered the pit lane initially. So 1.6 seconds. They've gained a little bit of time, maybe 4/10.
It'll be a tall order for Michael Epps to close in. But as we cut to James Baldwin's webcam,
no, that's Michael Epps.
No. When we do, I'll queue up a question for you.
Okay, well, let's wait for that, shall we? So 1.8 seconds. Michael Epps, who is no slouch, has been very quick in his... Oh,
there we go.
Question.
What track is that? Do you know?
Oh, that's the Nordschleife.
Okay, I was just testing, because...
Oh, come on. Oh, come on.
You might not have known.
No. I am offended.
Okay, I'm sorry. That was a little too easy.
2.7 seconds, and it looks like we are, now in the pits.
Yep, final stop then for both of our drivers, James Baldwin and Michael Epps. Really keen to follow the progress of Michael Epps. I think he'll only get stronger the more experience he gets in this series. So he'll be one to watch out for the future, maybe in season 2. But into the pit lane we go for both teams. Baldwin jumping out, Andrea Capoccia jumping in for YAS Heat. Michael Epps, we just saw him then, jumping out of the car. And for Racing Point, we have Rafael Lobato.
Racing Point are still in this.
Yeah, definitely. This final stop could well be decisive.
As Ben always said, it's almost like a race start in the pit lane, and Racing Point make the jump.
What?
Wowzers.
Sorry, Nick, for the break in talking there. We're hearing issues for YAS Heat for their rejoin here. I'm not sure if they've got a driver in for this final stint. That would be an absolute calamity for them. Capoccia, it seems, can't get in the car.
Wow, it's a shame that it sort of ended like this. We don't know what the problem is for YAS Heat.
As we go through the final corner, it is Racing Point who fight back and get themselves a racing point in this relay race. Unfortunately for YAS Heat, dropping a point there by not being able to make it to the end with their technical issue. Let's see if they can fight back in the finale here in Abu Dhabi. Rafael Lobato leads us off with a good start.
Yeah, so a good start for him, and already getting swarmed, Shanaka Clay, into turn 1. Who comes out on top here? You've got Lobato leading, Capoccia second, and Baldwin up to second. Who is that? Michael Epps rally crossing basically across the tarmac. Luckily, there's a lot of runoff for him to. And a late move for Shanaka Clay going up the inside. Great move from Shanaka. Well done.
Yeah, tried to shortchange Jarno Opmeer, and there's been a bit of a squeeze there between the two. That might be Clay squeezing Jarno a little bit too much there on exit. But Capoccia P3 for him. He drops a place to Baldwin off the start, and Lobato from pole position still clear, but only by 2/10, and is already under pressure from Baldwin, who is flying in this race.
Yeah, he started P5, Baldwin did, so he's going to try to go down the outside, Lobato on the inside, and a switchback that went very well for Baldwin there, now leading from P5 into P1, and we're not even finished the first lap.
I remember Racing Point were a little weak under brakes at Spa in the last round, and again they're getting found out a little bit here, going in too deep into corners, and that was again another switchback kind of move into a corner for James Baldwin, or on a Racing Point driver losing the position.
A switcheroo.
Yeah, a switcheroo. The two teammates are in 5th and 6th, Clay and Epps, and if Lobato can get up into 1st, I think that would make it 13 all for the two drivers, as we see.
That? Capoccia let Opmeer go. Obviously knows that Opmeer has the pace on him, so that's given Opmeer the opportunity and free air, let's say, to get after Lobato.
And I know that Jarno Opmeer won't hang around for too long, so let's see if he can make the move on Lobato here, heading into the chicane between the two straights. That is turn number 8 and 9. We're following on board with Opmeer now, and he's already making Lobato feel very uncomfortable bit of a compromised line out of turns 8 and 9 and into 10. We could potentially see a move here, Nick.
Yeah, Labata has no choice but to go defensive, and already Otmir around the outside. He'll be on the inside for the right-hander. Oh, a little bit of contact, but just managed to collect it up, and Labato nearly spun there. And wow, a great opportunity for Kapocha to clean up after all of those mistakes.
The hotel section, a lot of quick, medium speed corners, really tricky for traction. Don't want to spin up the rear tyres and lose the back end. As we follow on board with Kapocha into turn 1. A lot of the drivers taking a lot of entry curb on the way into corners.
A big moment. It was a swapper, but it's great to see the strength and power of the YAS Heat team.
Yeah, this could have been an absolutely perfect round for them. They won all 3 of their head-to-head matchups. They could have won the relay. They lost that because that was out of their control with a technical issue. And then they were leading 1-2-3, and then unfortunate there for the mistake for Kapocha. But otherwise, it's been a relatively faultless drive for YAS Heat in this round of the championship here at YAS Marina. James Baldwin crosses the line and wins for YAS Heat, making them go 2-1 up in the race against Racing Point